Hello crafty friends, it's Jess from jesscrafts.com, and today I have a card featuring a digital stamp from Gerda Steiner Designs. It's a Christmas hippo. There are two versions of the Christmas hippo. This is what Gerda refers to as the California hippo because he does not have the scarf on. There's another version with a scarf. For the Copic coloring, I kept it really simple and colored him with W1 and W3, and then his red shirt is R14 and R17. And the shadows I just added where objects meet, like where his head meets his shirt, like I typically do. So I'm just going to show you a little bit about how I pick papers and put together a card. Sorry my voice is a little rough today. We're still in kind of the beginning of the year in kindergarten, and so I'm basically constantly fighting off colds. I teach kindergarten, and I spend a lot of time trying to convince them to use a tissue and cover their mouth when they sneeze. So again, sorry for my voice. So here I'm picking out some papers. I'm using the Aspen Frost collection from Basic Gray. I start with a subtle background, and since I'm towards the end of my paper pad here, I had to basically choose one of the full-size sheets left so that it would be enough to cover and make a card base. I had pre-cut this green piece in the past, and I find that happens a lot when I'm making a card and I cut something out and I don't wind up using it, and so I have all these little scraps, and sometimes I have to just make a concentrated effort to use all the little pieces that have been left behind from other card making activities. And so this is a good example of that because I'm using that green pre-die cut piece. I'm using that strip of striped paper that had just happened to be cut that size already. For the background, in order to tie in that scalloped die cut, I've used a scallop corner punch from We Are Memory Keepers to create a scallop corner on all four sides. And I will be using a scallop die cut from the same Spellbinders die cut set to make my sentiment. I'll just be using a smaller one. I have recently purchased one of the giant rolls of Scotch foam tape, and I am so happy to have it because at that price I feel like I can use as much foam tape as I want, and I don't hesitate to use it like I did when I had this small little bit of foam tape, the smaller roll. And so I decide that even though I'm going to keep this card relatively simple, I can pop up the hippo. And in fact, if you only use the Scotch 3M, it still goes in the mail nicely because it's only 1/16 of an inch, and so since there's a very subtle pop dot, it won't affect mailing. For the sentiment, I'm using a rubber stamp from the Gerda Steiner Smells Like Christmas release. It's just a simple Merry Christmas greeting. Since it's a rubber stamp, it's a little bit harder to place down correctly, or place down straight and that kind of thing, and so I've decided that I'll stamp it and then die cut out the piece of pattern paper for it. So I knew I wanted to use this red to kind of play off the red in his shirt, and rather than die cut the red piece first and then stamp, I'm stamping and then die cutting. So I'm just placing it over to make sure that it's centered. I find this just a little bit easier, and then I'll run that through my die cut machine. The striped paper I placed in the center to draw attention to the focal image, which is the hippo, and so I just turned it over and trimmed that off. Then I glued down the Merry Christmas sentiment, and I kept that flat as well, so the only thing that has dimension is the hippo. And I also tucked it under to kind of create more of a joining effect, so they're not disconnected, but the hippo flows right into the sentiment and draws your attention towards the bottom corner of the card where you open it. So I just wanted to add a little bit more detail, so I'm adding some distressed mustard seed stickles and I believe it's rock candy stickles for the hat, which is a clear stickles, and I have gotten a little bit outside of the lines with the glitter glue. So I am going in with my scissor because it creates a thin flat edge, and they're non-stick, so I won't have to worry about messing up my scissors or getting this glitter glue on them because they'll come right off if I wipe it down. And so that's it for my card today. I kept it pretty simple. I just wanted to kind of go through some tips and tricks for using scraps. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I'm going to link to the hippo stamp below so you can find it. And if you want to see some more Christmas cards, you can subscribe to my channel, as I'll be sharing a couple over the next month or two. Have a great day. Bye.